Good morning, good afternoon, folks who are joining us today. And I see that there are so many folks who've joined in from different parts of the globe. Thank you so much. And I'm super glad that we're able to see all of you here. I know there's been an overload of online sessions that have been happening. And it is a little frustrating sometimes to have over and over so many sessions going around. So thanks for joining in. And I'm super glad today that um, along with me, we have Mike, it's in fact an early morning for her, Mike, who's joining us from Brazil. And she's the strategic partner in WhatsApp. Hey, Mike.
Hey, MKB, good morning, good afternoon, all.
Hey. All right. So we're going to do our best in terms of ensuring that you walk away with a fresh perspective of customer engagement and some actionable insights. So before we get started, right, I want to probably start with an incident that happened a few months before. I was talking to this chief digital officer of an enterprise account, and he was trying to tell me that one of the major challenges that he faced about the overall digital transformation. And of course, we all know here, and if you're in this webinar, this is a word that's used so much by everybody, right? Digital transformation and all this stuff. It's extremely overloaded sometimes, and sometimes we convolute it into things that is probably not as complex as what we think. So the chief digital officer was talking to me, and he was telling me that, hey, MKB, I was trying to explain my team in terms of what is digital transformation and all of those stuff. But I wanted to have a core idea of what is behind all of this, right? And I'm sure leaders who have joined this webinar, yes, there is digital transformation. Yes, you want to know about WhatsApp. Yes, want to know more about what's happening in the customer engagement space. With you are peers in this group who are in different journeys of their customer engagement, right? But then there is fundamentally one thing that he believed. So apparently he had looked at one of our marketing collaterals that we had put up from Freshworks. And there was this line, right, which said, be where your customers are. So the chief digital officer was telling me, I think this by far is one of the most important lines in terms of customer engagement, right? I mean, forget what we are going to do. The fact of the matter is, with digital transformation, with all of it that we are trying to do, being where customers are is the fundamental and is at the core of it. And today in this webinar, we're going to see where customers are actually, right? Because there is no reinventing the wheel here. We all know that we will have to follow the puck. Yes, there was a time where people were always trying to talk. And yes, we managed to do some innovations there, toll free and all of those stuff. Then came email. We were on email. Now where people are and where should we be if we have to be successful as a business? I think that's the core of it. Digital transformation and all these fancy jargons, in my mind, it's encapsulated by this larger umbrella called how can we be there where customers are? And the moment we are there where customers are, we become part of their circle, part of their inner circle. And as a business, you get to interact with them. Your chances of expanding in terms of revenue is great. Your chances of having a great CSAT score is great. And overall relationship between the customer and the business becomes a lot more tangible, right? So jumping into the agenda, this is what we are planning to run you through in terms of this is the why, what, and how. And I know that with, again, I'm repeating myself in terms of saying there is so much of content that we consume digitally in terms of webinars and things like that. So we wanted to make it very objective. We didn't want it to be very elaborate, and we didn't want to make it very mushy. And hence we felt that it's important to be hitting right on the nail in terms of why and what and how does it work, right? Fine. So we were talking about being where customers are. For a minute, right? For a minute, let's all forget that we're all business leaders. Let's forget that we represent organizations. We hold positions of great value. And let's just shed all of that today and just think of this. we as customers, we as normal users, how do we spend most of our time, right? And when you look at it, there's this interesting survey from McKinsey that came up and said there's so much of activity that's happening through messaging, right? A part of this is also to do with the fact that we are all becoming a very, very impatient group, right? And I think with that, which means that we want to quickly send what we want to send. And okay, whenever the person on the other side is happy to respond, yes, they will respond. And we've become slightly, for a lack of another word, lazy to pick up the phone and talk to people about the overall thing. And we're not ready to do that. We want to have these shorter conversations. And that is where the puck is heading towards. And with that, which means that it is very clear that you and I as customers are spending more than ever time in terms of putting it on messaging, or we're talking to people on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or messages or Apple Business Chat and things like that, right? And what is all the more special is that when we go ahead and look at the overall business messaging aspect of it, people have also chosen that instead of calling or instead of emailing, they actually like messaging to their businesses, right? That I think is a major shift that has happened in the last 2 months. What is more exciting, in fact, is the last 1 year, we've seen so much of traction in terms of messaging, especially during the COVID times, that as an organization like Freshworks, where we constantly have these conversations with different kind of customers coming in from different regions, coming in from different verticals, coming in from different stages of evolution of an organization, we clearly see that people really, really want to move to messaging, and that's the path that they're choosing, right? So just want to quickly take a moment, right? Because we know that there is so much of emphasis on messaging, want you to just quickly give a thought in terms of, has your organization ever implemented chat or messaging? Have you given opportunity to your customers to engage with you over a chat? Maybe you can just, it's on your screen now and you can just pick yes or no there, right? So interestingly, almost like 70% of you have already kind of thought of messaging at some point or the other, which is phenomenal. And for the remaining 30, I think this could well be the day where you could embark in this journey, because this is where the future is headed towards, right? And why do we say the future is headed towards? Which is more in terms of, hey, I'm just a small organization and things like that. Isn't it meant for like big organizations or small organizations? And all the doubt that you have, this is the answer to it, right? All the Fortune 500 companies, and doesn't matter if it's a telecom or if it's an airline or a bank, and even something as old as these auto brands, which are so hard to embrace messaging, 25% have already started their journey into messaging. And obviously retailers and 22% of the entire valuable brands of Forbes are already ventured into messaging. And when I say these 500, these are extremly evolved organizations. These are organizations where bringing in messaging is not a very easy thing to do, because they have such well-defined, well-oiled machinery that if you actually bring in something, it actually has to be a large change in the system in itself. In spite of that, they've realized that this is the way forward and they've gone into messaging, right? And hence, we believe that messaging is the new toll-free, right? It's not going to be those 1-800s that are going to rule the system in the future. It is, in fact, going to be messaging. And the fact that a $1 trillion business like Facebook, $1 trillion businesses like Apple or Google's of the world, they have many other things to do to make revenue, to impact people. But they have ventured into business messaging because they also believe that this is the future, right? And why do you need it? Like, because we know for a fact that as a leaders in the organization, you're probably thinking about, how do I cut my operation cost? How do I probably increase my CSAT scores? And as a head of support, you're thinking about, how do I improve agent productivity? And maybe you're also thinking about in terms of, I mean, I just see that every time there is increase in certain ads or certain increase in certain level of engagement, the number of queries just acutely increase. You want to be sure that you're able to proactively manage it rather than reactively give a bad experience, right? So in every department of this, we've seen that messaging has had a solid impact, positive impact, right? And we talk about messaging and all of this. Obviously, you cannot skip the darling of the messaging apps for especially this region, which is WhatsApp, right? I think this slide is more like a rudimentary thing because we all know how essential WhatsApp is. So if we are embracing messaging as a mode of customer engagement, we cannot. In fact, the first, if you're in the region that we are speaking with, India, Middle East, Africa, and most parts of Europe, and in fact some parts of ANZ as well, your first logical step has to be with WhatsApp. You'll be surprised that for Freshworks, the number of customers who come in and ask, they don't come and ask for, hey, I need help desk. They don't come and ask, I need a live chat. They come and ask us, I want to support my end customers through WhatsApp. What does it take? So there's a phenomenal shift in terms of how people are thinking why WhatsApp is the future in terms of business engagement, right? And quick question, right? Just want to quickly understand from you as consumers. Again, I want you to shed your roles and designations. You as an end consumer, have you ever WhatsApped a business? It could be for your flight tracking. It could be for your booking. It could be for anything. You have a poll that's coming onto your screen now. And wow, right? I'm actually surprised by these numbers, right? We have almost like 81% have already WhatsApp businesses, right? And if you are naturally someone who's going to be an end consumer, and if you have ended up having these experience with businesses and having conversations with them on WhatsApp, this is how the puck is flowing. And probably to let you know in terms of what does it take to take the plunge, what it really means, and more details on it, I'll hand it over to Mike, who can give you a very elaborate, detailed information of what is it in there under the hood. Mike?
Hi, MKB. Thank you so much. I love your introduction, and it's amazing how communication increased and changed during considering the past years, and mainly after the pandemic. Unfortunately, it changed the way we interact with business, considering since what happened in March, or actually beginning of last year. So WhatsApp changed the way, and first of all, I'm super happy to be here. Thank you, everybody that is here, listen a bit more about WhatsApp and the trends we have. So WhatsApp changed the way we interact with our families, our friends, and now with business. And it's simple. Why this happened? It's because WhatsApp, it's simple, it's really reliable, it's trustful, and it's democratic. WhatsApp, it's for everybody. So going back on what MKB said when he started the presentation is, you must be where your consumers are. And the truth actually is everybody's using WhatsApp. Considering some countries, we have more than 95% of penetration and the market share. And the reason it's simple, democratic, and reliable. I'm here to talk about the API and give you more examples and more knowledge about it. Of course, at the end, we have Q&A, and also we can have another sessions. We can schedule calls, and with Freshdesk. With Freshworks, I will be super available to talk with you about it. When you talk about the WhatsApp family, we have the WhatsApp personal, that it's the WhatsApp I use, you use, all of us, we use, the ones that we use to talk with our families and now with business. But we also have the WhatsApp for companies and the business. We have the small business one made for the really, really, really small business, the SMB. And we have the API. The API, you can ask me, so Miki, the API is for big companies? No. The WhatsApp API, it's for scalable conversations. So if you and your company needs to talk with more than 3 people at the same time, you need the API. With how many people can you talk at the same time in a really good and delivering a good experience without leaving those people like the other people in the other side waiting for, I don't know, half an hour. So I can tell you that I can manage like 2 conversations at the same time. 3 conversations at the same time, probably someone will be like waiting, and probably I will forget to answer. So the answer is, when do you need API? If you need more than 3 conversations simultaneously, and then you need the API. So the API is here to provide to your company scalable conversations with good, delivering good experience to your consumers. You can have a bot, you can have scalable conversations from one point to another. And when you talk about API, considering a road, and it's 2-way conversation. So how it works? Well, if you think a road, you have one way from the business to the consumer, and the other way to consumer for business, from consumer to business. And how we call, this is the way we name it. So when the consumer sends a message to the business, we call customer care messages. When the business starts the conversation and send the message to their consumers, we call notifications. How it works, you have a window of 24 hours. So for example, if a client, if your consumer sent the first message to the business, it opened a 24 hours window. This 24 hours window, it's 100, all conversations is for free. The other way, the opposite, when the business starts the conversation, because I think it's going to be easier to, yeah. So the 24-hour window, when the user initiated, perfect, 24 hours window for free, all conversations there. When the business starts the conversation, the first message, it's paid, only the first one. And the 24 hours window, all conversations that happen after this, it's also for free. Actually, it's not only the 24 hours window after the first message that the business sent. It's the 24 hours window always after. So it opened the first window when the business sent the message, and then the consumer replies. So, and then it opened another 24 hours window of free conversation. So it's always 24 hours window after your last consumer message. So these conversations, it's for free. So this is how it works. So imagine a road, 2-side conversation. It's like a bridge. One side, it's the business. The other side, it's the consumer. The WhatsApp, it's the bridge that will connect both sides. Going a bit little more deeper on the customer care. So customer care, it's the way we call the consumer-initiated messages. So it's when a consumer sends the first message. How can this happen? There's a lot of entry points that I'm going to explain with more details to you, but it can be a click to WhatsApp campaign, can be a QR code on a package, for example, can be a QR code on your store, can be ads, can be offline ads, can be also someone that just shared your business WhatsApp. So there is a lot of loyalty activities and campaign that we can do. What I'm going to present to you today that we also have, we can have WhatsApp into the whole consumer journey. We are going more on details on that. But the thing is, customer care messages are every single message that your consumer send the first message to your business, and can be for anything. Asking to open a complaint ticket, for example, ask for the delivery status, or going to make appointment, depends on the type of your business. There's a lot of ways that this and why this consumer will send the first message to you. So what is important? It's important, and one thing that we are telling our businesses and our clients is that, considering the API specifically speaking, is that the WhatsApp, it's not one-way conversation. So don't think about WhatsApp as the next step of the SMS. No way. WhatsApp, it's two-way conversation. So it's so important to have a channel, because it's an engagement channel. It's a relationship channel with your consumer. In the end of the day, you have a powerful channel to be talking with your consumer, with a tool that your consumer is typing and using the whole day. So engagement, it's the word, relationship and two-way conversation. So this is one, just like a customer care, how it works. You can have a channel where your consumer arrives. Please can go to the next slide. When you talk about API, we talk about scalable conversations. So we are talking about bot, we are talking about automation. So it's important to have, like, as I said, a channel where your consumer arrives there, and then you have like intelligence behind talking with your consumer. And remember, it's saving you a lot of call center time, a lot of phone calls, and will increase your NPS, your client satisfaction, because there's always intelligence behind to help this client. Of course, when we have like a complex inquiries, and then it's important to have like this, you just have like a human escalation. It's important, can be by email, can be by phone, can be other types, but you have a bot and automation to solve, at least I can tell you by experience, that more than 40% of the consumer inquiries can be solved by a bot or intelligence on your channel behind, can be solved. And you know why? Because a lot of inquiries are simple things. For example, I forgot my tracking number. So it's easy to get it one. And you don't need to have like a full call center with 100 of people just there, just to provide this type of simple information. You can do it with intelligence with a bot on WhatsApp. We are going, I love to talk about consideration, that it's they start on our funnel, the conversion funnel, but we are going more over the whole consumer journey. But think this in consideration. You can have a channel, two-way conversation, an engagement channel, a relationship channel with your consumer. And there you can solve the primary questions, the simple questions that probably will save a lot of money and time from your human escalation, from your human call center. So it's super like a key when you talk about NPS and when you talk about saving. So considering using WhatsApp for consideration when we go. I'm going more deeper on the consumer journey. I love to show that you can have the whole funnel into the WhatsApp. But when you talk about consumer initiated message, remember about consideration. And there's thousands of companies already doing and have a lot of success doing this. Notifications, it's the other way of the bridge. So remember, you have the business, you have the consumer, the bridge, it's WhatsApp. So all the messages you are exchanging there, encrypted messages, remember this. So, but when the business starts the conversation, the first message is paid. The window, the 24 hours window that it opens, remember, it's 100% for free. So notifications. When the business starts and sending a message, and this is, imagine that you have a channel where your consumer is using. So the metrics we have, overall speaking, is like that more than 80% of the whole users, the WhatsApp users, uses WhatsApp at least once a day, more than 80% of your users. So more than 80% of the 2 billion consumer users uses WhatsApp at least one time a day. This is a huge engagement compared to other channels. So there's a lot of information that you want to share with your clients. And sometimes they are not in front of your consumers, I'm speaking, but sometimes they are not in front of their computer waiting for your email. They are not checking their SMS. So sometimes your important information will take like days. And sometimes they won't reach your consumer. But you have a channel, WhatsApp, where they are more 80% of the total population that uses WhatsApp today uses every day. This is huge. But when we go to a weekly usage, we go over 90%. Now, it's simple. Take a look into your phone. When I see here, of course, it's pretty early in the morning for me. So here in Brazil, I'm speaking from Brazil. So I don't have any WhatsApp messages at this moment. Otherwise, but if you be like a bit later, for sure, it will have some. But when, I don't know if you can see it, but when I see here the number of the unread SMS, I have 419 SMSs unread ones. So the engagement that people have with SMS and with their WhatsApp, it's totally different. I can tell you that if you be like later in the day, it will be depending on the amount of calls that I have and how busy I am. But for sure, every time that I have like a 5 minutes break, I will be checking my WhatsApps. Even though when I need to go to the toilet or grab a cup of coffee, I will be checking my WhatsApps. I won't do that for other channels. So this is how WhatsApp can help your company when you need to send notifications to your consumers and you need them to be checking those notifications. There's a lot of types, and I'm going to explain a little bit more, but there's you can't just write a message and send. You need to pre-approve a template before. There is rules and commercial policies that you need to follow. But the truth is, and I'm super happy to be here today and talk with you, that we just announced, it was like now, beginning of June, new type of notification. So before June 2021, business were not allowed to send promotional and marketing notifications. This has changed, and now we are allowed it. Okay, it's not, this is not for the entire world. So there is a list, I guess it is like 17 or 18 countries. But most of the countries will now have this opportunity to send marketing notifications. Please check from the company, from the country your company is based, if and depending also, it's not only your company is based, but to where you are sending the notification. So if you're sending to a country that it's part of those 17, 18 that we just allowed now in June, you have this policy exception. So why notifications? As I was explaining to you, so to increase the engagement for critical purchases, and now that we send you, that we allowed you to do like marketing notifications. Imagine sending a notification if you are e-commerce, and then you have there into your CRM all the clients that actually just put a lot of products into the cart, but they didn't finish the purchase. Imagine that you can send a WhatsApp today and say, hey, I just saw that you have a cart full of products with us. So do you want like, I don't know, 5% or 5% coupon or free delivery to complete your purchase today? You can do it now. So you can do transactional notifications, that it's what we used to say before. So before this new commerce and policy change. So now you can send transaction notifications that you can you could before. So appointment update, tracking delivery updates. So these kind of notifications, but now you can also send marketing notifications. So this is just amazing. And a new world of possibilities is open for you. But one thing that it's important, super important, and I love to relate with you, to be bold in your mind, is that for notifications type of initiated conversation, all notifications require customer opt-in, all, no exception. So for example, if you're going to send abandoned cart reminder to your consumer base, first, you need to make sure that this client base have opted in prior to this message, that they allow you to send notifications over WhatsApp. And this is important, super important. This is actually mandatory. So I'm working with end clients for a while, and a lot of stories. I could be here like, I don't know, hours talking about you, about stories, happy ones, not that happy ones. But I had a really huge client in Latam, specifically speaking, huge one, huge, with thousands of consumers. And they told that, yes, we do have opt-in. It's important, remember, all conversations are encrypted. WhatsApp has no access to your client database. It's your client database. It's your responsibility. But how we manage? So you can ask me, but Miki, how WhatsApp knows that I'm sending message to opt-in base? It's simple. We have quality measurements. And remember, every time that you receive a message from someone at WhatsApp, doesn't need to be a business, can be like a person or a friend of you, but you don't talk for a while. So every time that you receive a message on your WhatsApp, it will appear from someone important, from someone that it's not on your contact list. You are going to receive a message saying like, you can block, you can report, or you can accept this message. This message is sent every time that you receive, actually this message appears every time that you receive a message from someone that it's not in your contact list. And because of the high engagement, because of the trust that our consumers have on our platform, consumers are really, how can I say, honest about it. So WhatsApp doesn't know if you are sending message to opt-in base, but if you are not sending to opt-in base, trust me, all of your consumers will be complaining that they didn't ask for that message. Doesn't matter if it's transaction or not, they will say, I didn't allow to receive this type of message. So the relationship from consumers to WhatsApp, it's almost personal. It's like WhatsApp is part of the family. So don't mess up. People will complain. So that's how we know that some companies are not sending message to the opt-in base, because the quality goes down, and we have a way to see it. And of course, it's transparent. We share with our partners, with Freshworks, and with the business. So the business know if they are green, yellow, or red. And once this quality measurement change, so if a business goes from green to yellow or to red, for example, we will limit the amount of people that the company can send a notification message per day, the limit, the daily limit that the company can send per day, because it's clear that something is going wrong. A lot of people are complaining, a lot of people are blocking, or a lot of people are reporting. So one sad story that I had with a huge client that was just mentioned before in Latam is that they told me, no, I do have opt-in, and we have rules. Once you engage and start to do opt-ins, we have rules that the companies must follow. How to do this opt-in? Actually, I have a whole training about opt-in, examples with opt-in. And then, so one example, adding a small phrase into that huge document that it's terms and conditions, that it's there every time that you, a client, it's interacting with you online, and then you ask exception on the terms and services. Everybody knows it's a huge document, nobody reads. We know that. This is not opt-in. So this company came to me with, we limit their daily users, the limit of people that they could send notifications daily, because their quality were super bad. And then they came to complain, and I said, okay, let's do a deep dive. I need to understand what is happening. Let me see how you are collecting opt-in. And then we understood that this company, actually, they were collecting opt-in with a small phrase into their, how can I say, the terms and conditions. So it's not opt-in, because opt-in must be clear. The client, the consumer must know and be aware that, oh, I'm providing acceptance. So I'm allowing this company to send a message to me, proactively speaking. So that's why I'm giving this example, because it's not that sometimes I hear like, oh, but WhatsApp is super conservative. Yes, we are. And you know what? Because we care about the quality, and we care about the experience. We truly care about our consumers. It's 2 billion. It's not, actually could be like 2 consumers, but it's not matter of trying to control. It's matter of experience. Imagine if I open my WhatsApp because I need to send a message to my boss. Super important, right? But I don't find my boss here because there's thousands of companies send me spam, for example. No, it's impossible. So that's why not opt-in is super important, and I'm super picky about it, because it's important that all companies understand. And then you can ask me, no, but so I need to ask permission to use WhatsApp? No, you need to ask permission to do notifications, to send a proactive message to your consumer. That's why you need authorization, you need opt-in. But you don't need opt-in to have a channel, a really good one, with a good bot, a good intelligence behind, where there you can share a lot of, help your consumers with a lot of different experiences. And you can drive campaigns, you can have a lot of entry points driving your consumer to your channel. You don't need opt-in to that. So remember, you only need opt-in to send active messages when you start the conversation. When your client, your consumer starts the conversation, you don't need notifications, because we understand that your client wants to talk to you. So of course, that's no problem at all. So this is important to be in your mind. You don't need opt-in to have a WhatsApp channel. You don't need opt-in to have a bot. You don't need opt-in to be talking and helping your clients. You only need opt-in when you send notifications, when you start the conversation, just to be sure that you are not spamming your clients, okay? Entry points. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of different ways of entry points. There's also free entry points, they're paid entry points. And we also have like a training helping you guys to discover all the entry points. But important ideas for you, online ones. So you have ads that click to WhatsApp. What is this, Miki? We call click to WhatsApp campaigns. Well, simple. This is a banner that you're gonna run into your Facebook or into your Instagram that the client will click and it will open your WhatsApp channel. And this is a good example of customer-initiated conversation. You don't need opt-in. You just run a campaign. Your client got interested, click it, it opened and starts to talk with you. So amazing entry point. We have a lot of organic ones. So you can have into your site, into your web page. Now we are seeing mainly because of the pandemic and considering all the retailers, you are seeing online a lot of the bubble or logo, and then on the web page, and then people just click and it opens automatically the WhatsApp conversation box. Email, in-app, SMS. Yes, you can send an SMS inviting your clients to talk with your channel. And this is not a notification, because you send an SMS and the client will click there and open the WhatsApp. So all the social, not only the paid one, but you can have the organic one. So if you have, for example, if your company have your Instagram page, you can have there on highlights the WhatsApp. You can have a link that your client click and you open automatically. So there's plenty types of entry points. I spoke a little bit more. I just mentioned the consideration, but here I'd like to tell you that we do have the possibility to have WhatsApp in all consumer journey. So we have since consideration until loyalty. And this is just an example of how we translate it, because you can ask me, no, Miki, it's not clear to me how to use WhatsApp for consideration. Simple. Imagine this is like industry ideas. You can have like a product information, which use fit size, warranty, all this type of information into your channel with your bot. I like to present in this way because you can see, no, but how can you see all these examples? So the whole consumer journey. So this is an example where you can see the full consumer journey there. So you have consideration. So this is a milk brand. You have like flavors, nutrition table. This is consideration. And then you have the purchase. You have like sales. And then you have care. So your client can open like a ticket order with you, or check FAQ, or subscribe for a loyalty club, or check their points, what it's needed to go to the next level. And also purchase. So see here, buy now online. So all of the consumer journey can be inside WhatsApp. This is just an example. And for sure, Freshworks would love to understand your company needs and then design this. You don't need to start with the full bot, with the full consumer journey. What I recommend always, understand your pain. What is your main pain? And start by that. Solve your main pain on WhatsApp. And then you can be adding more and more different topics into your WhatsApp channel. This is just example. So here we have financial services, so product recommendation, relevant offers. So that all the, and you can go one more, just presenting to you that we have a lot of use cases for different verticals. Actually, all the verticals are using WhatsApp today. This is a retailer. You can check in stock, you can buy, you can see the pictures, you can see the catalog, you receive relevant offers. Travel, they started using WhatsApp to send like notifications for updates on your flight. And now they have like a huge opportunity and momentum with not only customer care inquiries, but also with the new offers and the marketing notifications that we just allowed. Carriers, well, they are the big whales using WhatsApp. It's more than millions of daily messages. And there's a lot of different kinds of use cases, but people are recharging. People are recharging their WhatsApp, their data plan, their prepaid internet. They are doing upgrades on WhatsApp. So they are interacting with the bot. They are checking how much balance they have. They're also recharging their prepaid card on WhatsApp. So amazing use cases we have also. And just a wrap up of everything I said. So all the results you can have, all the opportunities. So the world, it's full of opportunities, and WhatsApp is here to help you. So my main suggestion and advice is understand your pain and solve this pain on WhatsApp. I bet you that you're going to have amazing results. And then you can add more functionalities to your engagement and relationship channel.
Okay, thank you so much, Miki. I think what we will follow this is something which is super important for each of you, right? We want to see some success stories very quickly, so that I'm sure some of these problems that we're going to quote are problems that you have. And these are real-time examples of how big brands have used WhatsApp and have managed to Mikay's point, Vodafone had opt-in rates as their biggest problem, and Stashaway had agent wait time, right? And they tried solving it with WhatsApp, and they were super successful. And these are brands that you can relate with, right? Because end of the day, you want reliable communication with customers and happy and effective agents. And I think that's a phenomenal combination to have, right? And to follow that, imagine somebody like a Renault, which is like a old-time automobile company. They've kind of really improved their direct communication with customers big time. And these are all brands that you can really connect with. And I'm sure that you can take a strand from it to say, if as a leader, your goal is to ensure that you have better customer retention, then WhatsApp could be your silver bullet that can really solve it, right? End of the day, all of this results net in terms of greater dollar value, greater CSAT, and greater NPS, which I know at least most people out here are aspiring for, right? Just want to take a quick poll before we get started with the next set of important things in terms of how do you get started and all of that. So the poll is, with all these things said, I know that there have been so many questions. Can we have the poll which calls out, would you be interested in implementing WhatsApp? And while we get the poll, I know that there are so many questions that has come into the Q&A session. Maybe we'll just quickly skip this poll so that in the interest of time, we'll come back a little later. Yes, you're part of this webinar, you're interested and you want to get started with WhatsApp. How do you get started, right? Now, you're probably you're more of a help desk organization, or are you like already into messaging? We know that almost 70% of you have already tried out messaging. So there are two ways that you can actually choose WhatsApp, give WhatsApp as a mode of communication to your end customers, right? One is with Freshdesk, which is our help desk system, where every time a customer sends a message, it comes in as a ticket. What you're seeing on the screen is a video of how the experience in both the agent side and for the customer side is going to look, right? Which is a very seamless experience. Ticketing your old time, you don't have to reteach the entire agent folks in terms of what you have to do, enable messaging and all of those stuff. This can seamlessly work, and today it is available with Freshworks, with our help desk platform. But no, naturally, WhatsApp being a messaging platform, it works the best with messaging in itself. And that's where we offer a phenomenal combination of Fresh Chat and WhatsApp. So what is all the more special with Fresh Chat is, I'm sure most of you would have definitely looked into the WhatsApp web. Fresh Chat, in fact, looks very similar to WhatsApp web. So it's so easy for the agents to get a quick hold of how this has to work. And anything that the customer is sending, it will seamlessly fall into it. And what's all the most special is you can open up as many channels. You can have a chat in your mobile app. You can have a chat in your website. You can have a Google Business Messages. You can have Apple Business Chats. You can put everything and open up in all formats. And all these channels will come seamlessly and fall into the same Fresh Chat inbox, right? That will be a phenomenal experience, so to say. And most important, right? I'm sure if you're a mid-market or an enterprise customer, one thing that you want to really, really try doing is that with Freshworks, we have extremely advanced bots that can work super well, right? And we have existing customers who use bots and they've had phenomenal impact in terms of their deflection rates, in terms of moving away from IVRs to ensuring that even though they use WhatsApp, the biggest fear people have is, what if there is so much of volume that comes in? I cannot handle it as a team, right? Those are things that you can easily evade when you kind of get bots into the overall scheme of things. And what you're seeing is the bank example that you see is super straightforward. And if you want to specifically go ahead and try this out all by yourself, you can scan this for now. I'm going to quickly skim through this. Maybe you can just take a QR code of this and just keep it beside. Maybe you can try it out after the session. This is a live experience of how the bot experience will look like with Freshworks and WhatsApp together, right? And why does it, why do you think we should get started today? Because obviously we know that Freshworks and WhatsApp go a pretty long way, and we've been like a very preferred partner for WhatsApp. And I think the relationship with each of us, it's been a win-win for us. And I think with WhatsApp being the most sought after mode of getting in, reaching out to customers, what you're going to also add is the ammunition that we have as Freshworks as an entire suite, where there is great APIs that are available, there is phenomenal custom analytics that are available. And most importantly, if you're looking at info security and preparing yourself for that big scale, Freshworks and its ecosystem has all built in with it, right? And we all love to see these happy use cases, right? These are, if you're from these different regions, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to these brands. And these brands send millions of messages today through Freshworks and WhatsApp, right? And I think they have phenomenal stories which will soon come out as case studies very soon as well. And I'm super hopeful that many from this webinar, if you truly take the plunge and explore this, will not be too far in terms of coming into this. And maybe in the next webinar that we present, Mickey and I host, this is something that you will probably feature, right? So how do you get started? I know most of these questions were around how do you get started and things like that. It's very straightforward. There is a URL that we will send across as part of our email after this as well, and also in the chat window right now. You can click on that URL, just give your details, and think we'll have folks reach out to you. And I'll give you a big news. The most important news that I want to communicate here in this time. So all this while, we have been charging for every number that we have and for the usage that you're doing. So what we have taken a call is going forward very soon. And when I say very soon, it's about next month or so. We are going to make WhatsApp completely free of cost. So if you want to explore WhatsApp, we want Freshworks to be your natural choice. The only thing that you will pay is for the proactive messages, which is something that WhatsApp charges us, and that's something we cannot, that's a direct cost transfer. But apart from that, everything which is to do with your reactive messages, every number that you buy, everything, we are making it free. And by the time you get started and the trial gets complete, we will have that intimation come to you where it's going to be completely free of cost. So there's no other thought that has to stop you in terms of going ahead and trying it out in my mind. So you can get started. And I want to go back to my first point in terms of, there is no doubt that it is in fact going to be the future, which is WhatsApp and messaging that's going to rule this world. And if you're really, really interested in being a leader in terms of this, I think you should get started today. Mickey, I'm going to give it to you. I think there are a lot of questions in terms of approvals and business getting verified. Mickey, you want to probably quickly touch upon that?
Yeah. So on business verification, this is a requirement to use WhatsApp, but this is from the Facebook side. So there is like we need to guarantee that your business is who you are saying it is. So, and we are improving this. We know and we assume that considering the past experiences, usually takes like 2 weeks to get the business verification. And sometimes, unfortunately, it takes more time, depending on the type of documents that was shared with us. But we are improving a lot. And we just, the idea actually is to have this squeezing this time. So as soon as possible. So on the business verification, the company needs to send the documents proving they are who they are. And from 1 month to 2 weeks, and we are working a lot to improve, to squeeze this time. But this is how it works today. And soon you are going to have all the clients, you're going to have like good news about this business verification. Also with Freshworks.
Sure. And I think there's also another question in terms of, sorry, folks, we are planning to just push it because the question seems to be coming. So we're just pushing it by exactly 5 minutes. So we will be done at 4:05 and we'll wrap it up by then. The next question, Mickey, is on the WhatsApp roadmap in terms of how you're envisioning the new things coming along for the businesses. You want to shed some light there?
Well, the things that I'm allowed to share, we have an excited road ahead. We are investing a lot in commerce and shopping and the purchase road. So soon, all the companies and the consumers will see features increasing this experience. So this is something that it's dear to your heart, and we are working pretty hard on it. But there is also a lot of things that we are envision now. We just increased the buttons. So the buttons experience that we had from last year, we just increase it. So the experience, everything is focused on experience, and but we have a lot of new launches for next year. This half, specifically talking about second half, we are focused on shopping and purchase experience. So more to come on that.
Okay, and there is also a question, interesting one, that says, why does WhatsApp not open up APIs for enterprise to listen into WhatsApp business group conversations? There are so many use cases that enterprises can use to drive business value.
We had a beta a year ago around groups. And the reason we decided to not launch this functionality was because at the time we did a lot of studies, and there was like a possibility of some security breaches. So that's why at the time, it's not that it's out of roadmap, it's not that it's out of the things that were envisioned for the future, but the beta we did a year ago, unfortunately, did not reach the quality and experience and the ratios that we wanted, and that's why we don't have yet. But it is being considered.
Right. I think before we close off, one question, I think, because there are other folks who come in from enterprise who have some security related questions. You want to touch upon what WhatsApp can have access to and which one it does not have access to?
So important. All conversations are encrypted. Okay. So WhatsApp remember, WhatsApp is the bridge. One side is the enterprise, the business, the other side is the consumer. If you are going on top of this bridge, on a Ferrari, on a bicycle, by foot, if you have a package, we are not seeing what is going under the bridge. And when we talk about privacy, it's super, super important to WhatsApp. And that's why we just released the new privacy policies where we are super transparent on what is happening, what is not happening. So on specific talk about privacy and security, we are working hard to have all the tools in place. So one thing depends a lot on the vertical. For example, when we talk about financial vertical and FinServe vertical, they have different needs than other verticals, for example, because we have a full bank inside WhatsApp where you can check your balance. So there is different needs for security than other verticals. And we also are launching some specific enhancements for security. So for example, one thing that we launched this year was important, that business can be notified when a client, so remember, privacy is important, but if a client change their phone, the business can be notified. So then the business can also send like a pre-authentication prior to sharing the information. And why is that? Because unfortunately, there is some frauds happening in some specific countries. It's different levels of fraud that we are seeing, but it's because people are giving their passwords. So there is unfortunately, a lot of creative ways. Actually, I have seen some really creative in Latin ways to steal people's passwords. So they call and it's incredible. So because of this, every time that this is enhancement, thinking about security. So every time that a consumer change their phone, that install WhatsApp in a different phone, this is important. So hey, it's a flag. This is a new phone. So then the company can pre-authenticate to be sure that it's talking with the right person. So there is some enhancements that we are working on, but again, all the needs, it's different by verticals. And we are super happy to receive all the feedbacks and then to go more deeper on this specific matter.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vijay. And folks, I think this could have not been a better webinar. We've almost received like 120 odd questions. And I think we've almost answered 95, 96 of them personally. And we are taking back some of these questions, and we will reach out to you personally on some of your questions. And we'll ensure that every question that you've asked is answered. Mikhail, thank you so much for joining in today. It was great having you. I know it was VRs for you, but thank you so much for joining in today. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We will have somebody from Freshworks reach out to you so that you can embark on this wonderful journey. And we really hope to see that you find great value. Thank you so much for joining in today.
Thank you, MKB. Thank you all. It was a pleasure.